Welcome to the show, the show about shows. I am your host, Jay, alongside with three of my close buddies, and we're here today to talk about the classic WB television series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But before we go into that, how about we go around and introduce ourselves? Let's start with Adam.
Hello there, I'm Adam.
What's special about you?
What's special?
Yeah, name something special about you.
You know what? My intellect, really.
Really? I thought you would have gone with the two D's in your name.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I have rolled high on the creativity level.
Who are you?
My
Who's
name
this?
is Eric.
All right, so we have Intellect Adam, Creative Eric. Jay is the host, and I guess I am the caboose. So,
And who are you?
and I'm Aaron, as I fail at doing that properly.
As the caboose would.
As the caboose, I kept right along with everyone else.
Well, before we get into the show, let's bring back a segment we haven't done in a while. What y'all been watching?
That's good.
Buffy.
I don't think that's what he meant. I just finished The Leftovers, which was fantastic. Just very, very good. It's kind of like an alternate view of the Rapture / Left Behind series, but done by HBO. So if that interests you and you also are okay with sad shows, then definitely check it out. It is sad. Like, it is definitely sad.
Oh yeah, but it's the best show that no one's ever watched.
It's so good. I'm trying to decide because me and Christy are now supposed to start our new show, and I get to pick what the next show is. And because I have to follow up from The Leftovers, it's really hard to choose something.
That's a tough act to follow.
I was thinking about Battlestar Galactica.
Ooh, that's a long act to follow.
It's only like 4 seasons.
In like 2 or 3 movies.
What do you think? That or Farscape? Jim Henson puppets or like early sci-fi CG?
Oh wow. I haven't seen neither show, but I need to.
You need to see both of them. Farscape is just fantastic. Battlestar is very much a product of the 90s, or not 90s, the 2000 Bush era. Like everything, like when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, I remember when we were talking about this in America. But like not in sci-fi format.
Well, what about you guys, Adam and Eric? What have you guys been watching?
Really Buffy. Been spending most of my free time on video games. So
What have you been
outside of
playing?
Buffy, Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
Which is phenomenal.
phenomenal, amazing game.
Has anybody been playing Red Dead?
Not yet.
That's
It's on our to-do list after this one.
Goodbye.
This just was. I have to say, everyone was kind of like hyping Red Dead, and it looks just as good. It looks like it deserves all the hype. But I just want to give a shout out to Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it has absolutely blown me away. I did not expect it to be as good as it is.
I've just been doing the very unoriginal Rocket League. I actually hit platinum. Jay and I were mentioning this before the show, and it just really got me wired. So once you hit platinum, the game turns into a whole
New game.
it's a whole new game because everyone's now playing serious. Once you get out of gold, now people are trying to employ strategy and trying. So now the game is a lot more fast paced. And then
Are people basically just flying across the map?
Yes.
trying.
Trying to fly across the map.
So this is like platinum is the silver of the good categories.
What's the goal? Double platinum?
A grand champion,
What's
diamond.
Diamond's above grand champion?
No, diamond is above. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Gold would be the gold of the upper tier.
Look, bronze is just brown gold.
No,
Let's
it
just
goes bronze, silver, gold, platinum, I believe diamond, and then I believe grand champion. There might be another one. There probably is.
Well,
Well,
that's enough of that.
It's a great segue. Good job. Really.
I don't know
Smooth.
anything about Rocket League.
well, you got to get in on that, man.
I'm not good at racing games or like soccer. So combining basically racing games with soccer, not my ideal video game. But
So,
I have played it. It is very fun. I just don't. I have not been able to find the replayability like other people have.
Well, I'm stuck at the point where real coordination is actually required, and so
You actually have to be good. You can't just like punch your way through it.
right, I blew my way through gold. Now I'm here. Now it's just like, okay, I actually have to pay attention. I've turned off the music. I've turned up the audio volume. Now you're just really paying attention. It's kind of taking all my time.
Did you buy surround sound headsets for it?
No, I just listen in stereo as loud as possible.
As loud as possible.
Other than that, Buffy. So it's been an enjoyable season 1. Took me back to my middle school days of just maybe some elementary days, I guess. Oh my god.
The UPN days.
It just took me back to those classic. I don't even know if it was late night. It was just prime time television. I never watched Buffy.
I never watched Buffy either.
Me either.
me either. That makes a clean sweep.
I remember it being popular with the goth kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I did watch Sabrina.
I watched Sabrina. Have you watched the new one?
No. I don't know if I need to.
They rebooted it. It's supposed to be really good. It's Netflix.
Man, I watched the first one and I didn't really care for it.
I just like I like the cahoots and the gimmicks.
You just like the cat.
Oh, hey, yeah.
yes.
But who wants to give us a rundown of
Person who does
Buffy?
radio.
Well, I guess first of all, what we didn't know before we started this is that Buffy the Vampire Slayer is actually based off of a movie by the same name. Different actress, different director. Or is it a different director? I'm not sure. But it's a completely different story. They kind of allude to it at the beginning of season 1. But
And
the
throughout,
events,
with like the school getting burned down and like,
yeah, but
oh,
the
you're
school
a
didn't get
kid.
burned down. That's the thing. Is that like they keep referring to like whatever happened at Buffy's past school as the school
So
getting
they're
burned down.
creating folklore to the TV show.
Well, they just kind of diverted diverted away from what actually happened in the movie.
They just said it got burned down, but in the
but-
movie it got burned down.
Michelle Gellar is much better than whoever the lady was that played it in the movie, in my opinion, just as an actress.
I agree with that.
So pretty much every generation, there's born a Slayer, and there can only be one.
Kind of like the female Highlander, but killing vampires.
And
He
I don't know
definitely got as far as the intro.
All right. Also, I do want to say this. Sorry, and I didn't mean to blow out everybody's speakers, but the first episode was really confusing to me because it started and it immediately started talking. It was that creepy voice. You know, in every generation, there is one who is born who is a Slayer.
Yeah,
And
cheesy the whole time.
And like me and Adam had to listen to it like 3 or 4 times the first time through just to understand what the hell it was saying. And then it kind of like started and it was talking about the school burning down and we were like, maybe there was more story before the movie, the TV show?
I was really surprised that it was a 45-minute episode.
It wasn't a sitcom format, yeah.
I really thought it was going to be shorter than that. And so, like, hearing that voice made a lot of sense for a 30-minute kind of, like, this is what the setup's going to be. And, like, 24 minutes later, ended out. But these being 45 minutes, being that kind of, like, low-quality prime time, it really caught me off guard.
Well, Jay, what do you think?
Well, I enjoyed that we didn't have to sit through an origin story because it feels like often with modern really thing have to watch how Spider-Man became Spider-Man.
Every
We
time.
didn't here. Fire Slayer, let's go.
That is true. It starts
I kinda like
right
that.
off the bat. Now, to be fair, the origin was in a movie, right? So that's kind of why that was like that.
It's true.
But I will also say, I think that I really liked seeing the lady who plays Lily in How I Met Your Mother. What's her name? She played Willow in this.
Oh yeah, what's her name? She did. I think she did a good job. I definitely thought you would have known her name. Let's see.
I think that Jay's internet's crashing because of Eric's comment to pay for the premium.
Starring Sarah Nicola Joe. No, not Allison Hannigan.
Yeah, I think it's
Allison Hannigan. That's it.
But she's really good. She right off the bat, you can tell this had to be one of her first TV shows ever because her acting in that first 2 episodes was pretty rough.
Probably. Let's see. I got it on IMDb.
Well, it's pretty interesting how some girls get labeled like the guy of the group, but I think she does a really good role of playing like everybody's buddy. I don't know if that makes sense, especially in this 2018.
You're saying that she's basically gender neutral?
I'm not. Those aren't my words exactly. I don't know what she would claim, but
I'm not picking her gender.
What's his name? Xander points that out. He's like, "You're just like one of the guys," and she's like, "Yeah, one of the guys."
But she didn't want to be one of the guys. Isn't that kind of like tongue in cheek in a way?
Well, yeah. Her not being wanting to be one of the guys, but like just being that role. I think she played that role well.
It was like, I think it was her big break because after that, she got in the American Pie movies and then later on the How I Met Your Mother series. Apparently, she was in a movie with Dan Aykroyd. Didn't know that.
Well, you guys mentioned Xander. Like, I was curious to see what your opinion on Xander was.
He literally is just kind of like comedic relief. Like, I feel like the only reason because I talked to Christy, because Christy actually has seen the entire series. She said that Xander never gets like any powers or anything. Like, he stays kind of the just friend, and I kind of feel like, in a way, that's what the audience is supposed to be. Xander. Xander is just like the friend who gets to hang out with Buffy, you know. And so, in a sense, everyone's seeing it through Xander's eyes. I like Xander. He's funny, but he also is a very stereotypical 90s trope in a way.
How so?
Like, whenever he's, like, pining over Buffy, and then immediately he turns and asks Willow out to the dance whenever he gets rejected. Like, it's a lot of the... Yeah, it's like classic 90s douchebag. So I feel like he basically is just a bundle of tropes.
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
Well, he was definitely the right along.
Mm-hmm. And I hated his whole pining after Buffy thing, and especially exactly what you just said, the way that he was like, "Oh, well, I can't have her. Guess it's Willow time now."
Yeah, I guess it's a backup plan.
Yeah, and I was happy that Willow turned him down.
I agree. That was what was really cringy. It was like super formulaic.
That was obvious. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to do that, but like,
Think that low.
yeah, that's kind of, that kind of backup plan is obviously hurtful.
Hurtful, especially whenever you're friends with the person.
I wonder if they made those decisions to avoid him falling too much into a bigger role.
I feel like Xander
To
probably
focus on Buffy as like the main character.
I feel like
the one
Xander
you're rooting
probably
for.
supposed to be killed off at some point.
I could buy
Like,
that.
and they just never did.
What was the main role? I enjoyed it, but like, what was the main role? Because I keep going back to I'm surprised it was 45 minutes because the build-up of everything, it was a little bit of chaos, and then a little bit of mystery, and then go to
So
the.
it was Scooby Doo plus Star Trek plus like.
But it like 2 points on the Star Trek because you can't cram that much.
Well, the Star Trek is the fact that like they kind of had a self-contained story in every episode. You know,
Yeah.
like they had a resolution to every problem in every episode.
But there was also like an overarching bad guy throughout the series.
But that's true. The Master, which was such a terrible bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Very
Well, if you're
anticlimactic.
looking for a 90s show to compare it to, I think maybe X-Files would be a good one because it had the same kind of setup where sometimes you'd have a monster of the week where they just resolved the story that episode, but then other times they would be doing the overarching plot.
Yeah, so it's kind of a hybrid. But I did kind of like that. It's easy because you don't have to invest a whole bunch into the overarching story in order to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I will say this: I actually watched like halfway into season 2, and in season 2 they introduced Spike, which is a supremely better '90s bad guy than the Master. The Master just felt like it didn't fit the attitude of the entire show. Like it was still trying to be like ye olde vampires.
Yeah, like from the movie.
So that was my thought on that. I will say also I don't really care for Angel.
What?
Like Angel, I love the idea behind his backstory in the sense
He's
that
super emo.
he's a vampire who essentially had been given back his conscience or his soul as a curse, and now he had to feel remorse for every bad deed that he had done. I thought that was a cool idea. I just overall thought that his interactions with Buffy were just really, really lame. Also, he just happened to show up every moment that they needed him to.
Yeah, and it's a little bit problematic that he's like 900 and Buffy's 16.
Yeah, it's a little pedophilia. Like,
Yeah.
and they're
I
going
don't
pretty
think
hot
you
and
can
heavy
quote
right off
Romeo
the
and
bat.
Juliet laws on that. I felt the beginning of the show was pretty rough, to be honest, and they didn't hit their stride until like episode 5 or 6, and then even then it was kind of anticlimactic at the end, like with the bad guy just getting pushed through a glass window and dying. I was like, oh, it's over. I mean, he was built up so much to just be like this apocalyptic ending nightmare, and then
Well,
Obviously, you weren't prepared for the '90s Buffy Slayer.
exactly.
well, she's not really that great of a superhero. If you think about it, she
She's
never really turns villainous. She never really turns like super. All she does is throw people, and like I don't know. That's why every episode to me just left a lot wanting for how much I had to watch to get to the very expected end. Like, oh, we found the Invisible Girl.
Buffy's always going to solve the problem. There's
Oh,
never a question about that.
So-
Even when they're prophesying that she's going to die, we know that there's 9 more seasons, so it's clearly not going to be the kind of death that ends.
So apparently now she's the Slayer and vampire powers.
I think it's because she was statutory by Angel because
Ooh.
No, she was bitten by the Maester.
Oh, the Maester. It's true, but even he's older.
No, he died though.
I know, but he's older.
Obviously. Very well. I don't think age is just a number in this situation.
That's true. What
Now-
about the creepy little boy who's the anointed one?
Yeah, what happened to him? What was he?
He keeps going in season 2, and Spike kidnaps him. Like he tries to take over where the Master had died.
A vampire
But
kid?
he's like I can't tell if he's a vampire kid or a kid that the vampires like are channeling something through, like kind of like an antichrist.
Are there more vampires in season 2?
Yeah, a whole lot more.
Dude, it's called Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, okay.
There's gonna be vampires.
You're right. After season 1, they have no more vampires to slay.
The Master is more
Ran out?
like a regional boss or lord as opposed to the ultimate final bad guy.
Okay.
Who's the ultimate final bad
I
guy?
don't know.
He hasn't gotten to season 3 yet.
I'm not going to continue, probably.
Oh,
I watched a little bit just to see if it got any better, and it did. It substantially got better in season 2. The acting got better. The special effects got a little bit better. Camera work was a little bit better. But
Are you saying there's a through story all the way through season 9 that you have to watch every season to get to the final?
the Buffy Angel love triangle rolls throughout the entire series.
Really?
Yeah, apparently all the way to the very end.
Final boss?
Angel is the final boss.
Oh my god.
Well, there's also a spin-off of an entire series called Angel, which continues following Angel's story.
ooh, next month.
Please no.
Please no.
Wow.
I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to
The
get
show's
through.
not a terrible show. It was an entertaining show, in my opinion. I just thought that it was...
15 minutes too long.
I agree with what Eric said. You have to invest too much into it to get anything back.
Like, I heard it didn't get considerably better until season 4, and I understand that this was an up-and-coming show, and it probably didn't have much funding at the start, but
They spent all their money on the exploding / disappearing vampires.
Mm-hmm.
The insta-dust vampires.
Yep.
Oh man, that was a lot of money right there.
That was all their money, their entire budget.
1997?
But I don't know. I may watch summaries of season 2 and 3, and then just pick up in season 4.
Are you going to go back? You're going to try and invest some more into it?
I may. It depends what we decide to watch next.
No.
Okay, let's do this. What about favorite character and worst character?
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll go first. Buffy.
For both?
Yeah. Buffy for my favorite character. I mean, she was adorable, lovable. I think.
Perky?
I think she.
He thought she was perky?
No, it is not my words. I think being a high school student, kind of taking on the role, she did a good job of taking responsibility and oh dang, all right, well I'm going to have to do this. So every episode was just kind of her getting brave, I guess. But the whole team made up Buffy. But I think Buffy is obviously the pinnacle of the team. My least favorite character. Oh man, does it have to be a recurring character?
No. If there was a character that just specifically stood out to you and just irked you, I think that's a valid reaction.
The I think the bad man from the Nightmares.
The guy with the rock hand.
Yeah, that villain. Just the noises he made.
Lucky 19.
The noises he made. He was just out of all the villains, he was just kind of
You thought that was worse than the Robo Demon and the computer?
Oh, I like that one. It's like a Robo Predator.
Sad. You'll have to die.
How did they make a robot that good? It said he hacked all the other people's minds and they built that.
I mean, clearly.
That's what would have to happen.
Okay, so what about you, Adam? Favorite character, worst character?
Favorite character, I'm going to have to go with Rupert, the librarian.
Librarian.
You mean Giles?
Yes, Rupert Giles. He was amazing. I loved him. Worst character, I'm probably going to have to go with Xander. Even when he was the comic relief, he wasn't that funny. He was generally a douchebag, constantly pining after Buffy, even though I think it was pretty obvious that she wasn't interested, while Willow was right there and very much interested. I don't know, maybe it changes after season 1, but I didn't really like Xander. Did like Giles. He was pretty cool.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
Man, for favorite, ooh, I think I'm gonna have to go Giles as well. I really enjoyed him. For worst character, I kind of have two. I'm gonna agree with Adam on Xander is the fucking worst because there's nothing to him. What's special about him? He's just a guy.
It's just a guy.
And then, but for worst overall, I really hated the ventriloquist dummy episode. That shit creeps me out.
Fair enough. That was a weird one.
Yeah, but talking about Giles, I enjoyed his character very much, and I think that he is a necessary part of the show because he is our information source to the mythology.
Yeah, 'cause they're not gonna look that shit up.
But just the way that he's just
up.
like, hey, I'm here. I'm the Watcher. I've been assigned to you. It's like, by whom? Like, is there like a Slayer organization that
He's
somehow
been
like
studying like half his life, and he realized like he read the prophecy, and then he's like self-appointed. Like,
So I'm just gonna go get a job at
He's
this
the guy who
random.
happened to read the book.
Is there like a blog or a community we could join? Maybe they go into his origin later on though. Like maybe it just wasn't a season 1 thing.
Very possible. Well, what about you, Aaron? Favorites, not favorites?
I think that number one, my favorite, I'm gonna agree with Eric, Buffy. I do agree that her character was entertaining. And Sarah Michelle Gellar did a good job. I think one of my least favorites,
Can hear every vibration.
that's mine. Sorry. It's the cancer kid. The kid who had cancer that lured everyone down into the basement. I thought that whole storyline was really, really a low blow.
the
Like-
nightmare one.
No, not the nightmare one. The one where like the guy who knew Buffy from back in the day showed up in town, and he's all cool, and Buffy wants to hang out with him. But really, he's just trying to bring him to the Vampire Club because they want to convince the. Oh, was that second season one? Oh, that might have been second season one. But that was that may have been a second season one. But that was the worst character.
I was thinking that was one of the ones that I fell asleep in.
No, my bad. I just remember that character stood out to me. There was a character that came back, and it was like Buffy's friend from the old high school, and he had cancer, and he wanted to become a vampire. So I just thought that was a really low blow for an episode.
Well, for series wise, that's good to know.
For the first season, I think that probably I agree with Eric. The Lucky 19, that was pretty shitty looking.
But it was like a little kid's nightmare. It was supposed to be shit.
Well, as a whole series, there's strong point. The thing I did like about it, the thing you have to respect for low budget. I don't know if it's local. It's not. It's not local, but it's obviously low budget. It's just
Low budget content creators.
no. It was WB. It's Warner Brothers, but it's not designed to be. I don't know how they tier it in the TV world, but the money that they spent obviously wasn't a whole lot. But where they utilize their strengths is like in the certain camera shots, making rooms look bigger, making certain scenes seem more terrifying. Less is more. Less is more in this kind of situations. And like in that villain, all the lights were on, and it was just like some, I don't know. And the guy had like a wooden bat for an arm. Like his whole arm was I don't know.
I think that was supposed to point to the coach.
Possible.
Potentially.
Well, wasn't it super convenient that the high school they go to, by all looks, is like a typical California high school in the sunshine, but then
It's on top of the Hellmouth.
Just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's not only on top of the Hellmouth, but the library where Giles hangs out is like super dark and spooky.
Yeah,
And it happens to have like every occultish book ever written.
Yeah, and no other student ever goes in there.
No one ever. It's Todd versus the Book of Pure Evil. Like everyone's dying every week and no one gives a shit.
pretty much.
like, oh, where's Billy?
I guess to be fair, how much time did you guys spend in your high school libraries?
Libraries.
I'm gonna say 0.
I didn't spend 0 time. I did definitely spend some time in there,
Mhm.
but we were also on the PC maintenance like class, so we had to repair the computers. So I don't know that I spent a lot of like personal time in the library.
We actually did a lot of like class assignments in the library. Ours was huge. Our library was huge.
Did you go to Turner? Where'd you go?
Turner.
Adam, what about you? A lot of time in the library?
No, not really.
Motorboating.
Yep.
Like at the school I went to for 11th and 12th grade, I don't even know if I knew where the library was.
Really? You didn't have like research projects or anything?
No. I mean,
I went to the library a lot in middle school, just not high school.
Yeah, I remember like middle school spending a lot of time in there, but by the time I got to like 11, 12, I guess everything was online. I don't know.
A lot of stuff was.
Speaking of which, I particularly liked the episode with the internet and like the demon virus.
I thought it was a cool concept, but I don't want to keep pointing back to graphics because I know that's my bad expectation. Like that's me, but the graphics were terrible.
On which?
On the computer demon one.
Well, no, the
Costuming was fantastic.
Well, yeah, the way he talked, because all it was.
He's saying that like whenever the demon was in the computer, it just looked really shitty. Like,
yeah, I guess it was supposed to. Like I said, personal issue. But
well, for me, I loved that it was clearly being made by people who were not familiar with the internet, but wanted to make an episode about it.
Yeah, that's also true.
And like for example, there's one scene where one of the kids is like. He's like chatting with the demon, and not only is he speaking out loud what he's writing, but then you hear the demon speak as well when like there's no speakers on that computer. So it's like this entire situation would never ever happen.
Or something really fucked up was going on.
Yeah, they all had like webcams. That was pretty.
Now, anytime you see like '90s TV shows or movies depict the internet, it's like before anyone knew what the internet really was. So like they're always really bad.
Objected.
Yeah, basically.
And I was
it's
a
a
big fan
Unix
of
system. I know how to do that.
I was a big fan of the other teacher who came in that one. Like, I'm glad that they brought her back. Yeah.
And she's getting with
praying mantis.
Giles.
Yeah.
The praying mantis.
That was a different episode.
Everybody was rooting for Xander to be eaten, right?
No, I thought it was gonna be like a Futurama episode where like death by snoo snoo.
Like he totally signed himself up for that though. Like again, douchebag character.
You're not wrong that he is a douchebag character, but does he really deserve to be killed by a praying mantis woman?
I'm not gonna use the word deserve. I will use the word like, what's it called? Like putting yourself in that situation. Like
just deserve.
Are you victim blaming?
Ooh, I think he's victim blaming.
I wouldn't say that's victim blaming either.
Why would you wear that, Xander?
Xander wore it. He deserved it.
He's a 16-year-old boy being taken advantage of
by
one
an adult female praying mantis.
It was only after virgin. Only after virgin.
Hey, I'm not a virgin.
Xander, why would you be a virgin? No, I don't know. He put himself in that situation.
I also enjoyed the hyena one, where especially the part where they ate the principal, and he's just like, "You can't do this," while they're eating him.
Yeah. The second principal that came in, the one that was like super suspicious, but also just as terrible.
Yeah.
Like he, at some point, he even like acknowledged how many children have like died or gone missing since he's been working there.
A lot. I don't remember.
I liked him better than the old one.
Yeah, no. At least the cool professor wasn't, or the cool teacher wasn't very good. Or the cool principal, like, hey, you know, I'm your friend. That's always fake. That's never real.
How many principals did they have? I had the two.
There was another guy that showed up in the second half. The
demon-looking guy.
The mean-looking guy, the bald one with glasses.
Mm-hmm.
The ears.
It's funny you say that because that actor, Armin Shimmerman,
Yeah.
he played Quark on Deep Space Nine. like
Really?
a Ferengi with the big ass ears. And like that might be one of the reasons why I liked him, because anytime I see somebody from Star Trek, I'm like, Star Trek.
He does look familiar now that I think about it. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's Quark.
You're right. You're right.
Fact check.
Fact check.
Does anybody else have any critique on the show that is now 20-something years old?
Well, Aaron and I talked about this one time when we were not recording, but it's almost like it felt like they were trying too hard to make a 90s show. Like if you're putting the show out now, I'd be like, dial it back with the 90s references, man.
It was a bit much. It was like anything they could like use a 90s reference or a Valley Girl reference, they did.
At that point, it was just pop culture, though.
I guess it was just a reference at that point. You're right.
But like they go to a grunge club in every episode.
Isn't that what you did in the 90s?
Hell yeah.
It also falls victim to, I think, what all 90s show fell victim to is that we're portraying a group of high school students that are supposed to be 16, 17, but they're like, hey, you're going to go hang out at the bar later? Yeah, I'm going to go hang out at the bar.
No one did those things.
That's what I do every single day. Like, I never tell my parents where I'm going to be. Like,
it's just not realistic, is what you're saying.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, this damn show about a vampire slayer is not realistic enough.
Damn it, if only.
But also, how do you guys feel about Joss Whedon in general?
I like a lot of his content. Is what I will say that I like Dollhouse a lot. I enjoyed Firefly. I like Serenity. I like a lot of his MCU universe movies. I guess Marvel Comics universe movies. But this, I just feel like this is so early in his content that he hasn't really figured it out or developed it fully yet. So it just doesn't really coalesce yet or cohese yet. That's my thoughts.
It does seem like he's trying to hit certain stereotypes.
Are you saying that he's still learning to be a feminist?
Yes. We'll go with that.
I've seen like multiple articles written about how Joss Whedon's not really a feminist. He's a faux feminist.
Like he wants to be. He wants to be so bad, but he still just doesn't get it.
Well, do you get it, Jay? Can you explain it?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Men are terrible and women are better.
All right. Summed up the modern feminist movement in a matter of words.
It
sounds like one of our segments on our other podcast, Jay.
No, but this was one of the first things that Joss Whedon has ever done that I actually liked even a little bit.
Really?
Pretty much everything else I've hated. It's just like, this is shit. Can't stand it.
You didn't like Firefly?
No. Ugh.
You didn't like Avengers?
Get through it. No, I didn't like Avengers.
What about Dollhouse?
You know what? I have not seen Dollhouse, but that chick is hot.
He did Cabin in the Woods.
Douche-Coo or whatever her name is?
Yeah, something like that.
Eliza Douche-Coo.
He did Cabin in the Woods.
Really? He did? I didn't know that.
Y'all make him sound like he's...
I really like Cabin in the Woods. It's a fantastic film.
I mean, it might not be that I don't like Joss Whedon. Maybe I don't like Nathan Fillion.
Oh, I really like him.
Oh, I can't stand him. Hey, I have a big face. Put me in movies. Like, that's him.
Yeah, kind of. But he also kind of knows that that's him, so he kind of is like, hey, I'm the guy with the big face that everyone knows has a big face. Put me in movies.
It's funny that you were about to say Nathan Fillion because I was about to recommend The Rookie.
It's really good. I've really enjoyed The Rookie.
Which literally has Nathan Fillion's face on it.
It's his new show.
The Rookie.
You mean that cop show?
It's his new cop show, yeah.
Oh, you guys are the worst.
It's good. It is good.
No.
It is. This astonishment is astonishing, Jay.
See, I was... Maybe I'm jumping ahead, but I was going to suggest that we hate watch something for next month. Like we pick something that we're all going to hate.
No, that was...
We didn't do that for Buffy.
That wasn't
Well, it doesn't
saying
sound
that
like
he wants to turn this podcast into a
I hated it so much. I had to like it. You know, you ever had that feeling?
Eric hated having to like it because feminists liked it.
Oh.
I don't think feminists really would have liked it. They sexualized Buffy every episode they could.
But you are a feminist.
Am I a feminist? I
Yeah,
am.
you
I am.
jumped straight to the part about not thinking that feminists would like it.
That's not what I said.
All right. So then, do we want to do our ratings for this show?
Ratings.
I thought a lot about this.
Ooh.
Adam has considered this deeply.
Spent a lot of time meditating on this rating, and
This is an in-depth analysis, guys. Listen up.
like I said, the beginning was very rocky, and they didn't really hit their stride. But then the middle was pretty good. It was decent. I liked it. And then the ending was very anticlimactic and just not really fun to watch. So I'm probably going to have to give this show 4.5.
4.5 from the Adamster.
Yes.
All right, I think Eric is next.
Eric.
This I wanted like this show. I wanted it to be a real throwback and worth my time. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it was 30-minute episodes, more sitcom based. But I think they just tried a little bit too hard for my attention. I'm going to give it a 4. So a solid 4.
Wow. Low score from Eric at a 4.0.
Now keep in mind, the score is only for the first season. Only for the first season.
And not for the individual characters.
Also true.
Execution.
Well, for me, there was a lot I liked about this show. I liked that it didn't take itself too seriously, and it was just kind of fun. And that's something that I think is missing in a lot of television now. Like, everything has to have a message or has to be unnecessarily gritty. And I like that this really wasn't. It was just kind of popcorn entertainment. But I also didn't like kind of a lot of the things that we've discussed already. Just the some of the characters kind of sucked. Some of the episodes really sucked. I think Eric's got a good point that maybe it would have been better if it was a shorter format. So overall, I'm going to put it straight down the middle. I'm going to give it a 5.
I think that I had very similar thoughts. It's rough at the very beginning. The acting is very, very rough. It does progress a little bit. The writing gets a little bit better. The stories are a little more interesting. The characters develop. I did watch into the second season, and the second season is already like miles ahead of the first. Like it starts off on a high note. The bad guy's better. The acting's better. And so I'm going to give it actually a 6 because I do see that the show has a lot of potential. It has a pretty huge cult following in pop culture. And so it clearly must achieve some level of, quality at some point. But the first season just really isn't it. So I'll give it a 6 for the potential.
All right, a 6 from Aaron.
I think that puts us at around 4.8.
4.5 plus 4.0 plus 5 plus 6 divided by 4 equals 15. That's not right.
Those numbers aren't right.
All right, we got a final rating of a 4.875.
Very nice.
Right, let me check our master list, see where this ranks amongst the fantastic shows that we have watched so far. And it puts it dead last.
Okay, if we want to do a show that we love to hate, then let's save that for December. But please, let's do something good. I want to do another anime at some point in time. Maybe now we could do Pocahontas.
What?
Pocahontas the movie?
What?
What about Legacies
Something that makes us thankful, you know.
or Homecoming?
You want to watch Turn?
Oh,
If you want to go straight sitcom, we could do The Connors.
ooh, that's not a bad point.
It's a new show. Got a terrible rating, but only on IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes, fucking amazing. People loved it. 96%.
Wow.
So, get
I
it on
don't really want to
Hulu.
watch The Connors, especially since it's still coming out. It's only got a few episodes, I
It's
believe.
got 5 episodes.
Yeah, but that's not a full
enough.
season.
It's not a full season. You're right. Connors are out. But
do we,
in the
do we
same
want to
vein
go
of
back to something more
sitcoms,
sitcom-y?
I wouldn't mind something a little more laughable.
We could do something loud. Oh man.
Well, I'm cool. I'm down for
Yeah.
whatever. I'm down for whatever. So
This was the spot for a sitcom for me. I want to watch an actual something.
like
I
a
might
drama?
suggest the new Netflix show Maniac with Jonah Hill and Emma Stone. It's kind of drama, kind of funny, dark. It's set in a like creative alternate reality.
I love both Jonah Hill and Emma Stone.
yeah,
It's
I'm
10
down for that.
episodes. It's 10 episodes between like 30 and 40 minutes each. Justin Theroux's in it. Sally Field is in it.
What's it about, though?
Well, I think that we don't need to talk about that because it's going to be like just by watching it, we'll be told what it's about. It looks really, really good. It looks really interesting. It's got that 1980s feel, like the future 1980s.
Can I read the first sentence of the summary, and that's it?
Like only to yourself.
Okay, well, I've already read it.
Sure.
There's something called "Don't Watch This."
Well, we can't watch that.
Wait, why can't we watch it?
Oh, it says don't watch it. I mean, very clear.
See, all right, guys. Well, that was our spooky show.
What, Buffy?
of the year. Yeah.
Shut up.
It was, it's a-
Oh man!
Don't call
If
that.
you guys really want to hate something, we should do Grey's Anatomy.
No.
Whoa.
I've never do that, ever.
How about This Is
What
Us?
happened to Maniac? I thought that was what we decided on.
Yeah,
Oh, Maniac still sounds great.
Maniac sounds
Eric
great.
didn't sound like he was
I
sold.
wanted to do some sort of anime.
It's drama.
What
dude.
anime? What? Make a suggestion.
Robozuna. Joking.
Let me.
No.
Decline.
I'm just scrolling through Netflix. I'm cool with that. Maniac. I'm looking at it.
It's one season.
Maniac looks good, and I like all the actors.
Yeah, I think it's like a miniseries. Like I think they're not doing any more. Like this is it. This is the show.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, let's do it.
Wow, that's the quickest we've ever come to a decision.
I mean, you brought something quality.
It is decided.
These are the things we're looking for. These are the droids. Okay.
These are the droids.
All right. Any final thoughts on Buffy?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, fuck that show.
It was just rough. I mean, those are the final thoughts. Is that it was a show that apparently lasted long enough to be something good, but did not start out that way.
Did not.
Yeah, we just didn't watch the right one.
It was better on paper.
Do we want to consider doing later seasons of shows? If like a show is like a show like Buffy, should we have watched like season 5?
No,
I think we should have. It's very obvious, like that she's always going to be the Slayer. I think we could jump in at any point, and she would
But
still
not on
be
Buffy,
slaying
not on
vampires.
Buffy. This is a lesson learned. A lesson learned on a series. If it has this much content, then we can jump in a later season.
Okay.
I don't really like that personally.
I don't really like that personally. I like to see where it started.
But pilots are always bad.
But if we're jumping into to see what a series is about, then maybe a developed season is not such a bad idea.
You're not wrong.
If I may make a little suggestion on the subject of later seasons, maybe not anytime soon, but sometime in the future, if we could come back and do Fargo again, because
Season 2 is fucking amazing.
yeah, I'm like halfway through, and it's amazing.
It's fucking boss.
Brad Garrett is my homeboy.
I'd be okay with doing Fargo again.
Fargo Season 2 is just baller. It was so good.
That's the one where they go back in time, though, right?
It's not back in time.
Yeah, they build a time machine.
It's in an earlier
It's
time.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Spoiled. It's spoiled.
How is it spoiled? They mentioned it in the first season.
It's the worst, Adam.
If it has time travel, it's spoiled.
They're like, oh, Sioux Falls. That
Even
me
Star
shudder.
Trek tried.
Eric's been triggered.
Me crab.
Time travel is like
No Rocket League tonight.
scapegoats.
Did you guys know that in China it's illegal to show a movie that depicts time travel?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we should stop doing that.
It's illegal to do a lot of things in China, though. Like,
Is
have
it
your own
though?
beliefs.
I don't think that's a law. Like, it is illegal to believe anything on your own.
Well,
It's more of a, that's sort of the situation rather than that's what they put down in writing.
strong recommendation.
You're just saying that they have certain beliefs that they have to have.
Yeah, they banned time travel.
And they also have certain beliefs that they cannot have. Like
What
time
happens-
travel.
If someone was a time traveler, I think that this is the key. They were testing to see if any future people develop time travel, because trolls would not be able to not go to this time in China and be like, we're time travelers, it's illegal.
Is that the...
I feel like trolls would do that.
I don't know. I feel like they'd notice that it would be too dangerous to do that and would never go there. And also...
If you have the ability to time travel, I doubt that you should fear any 20th century technologies.
Obviously,
Yeah,
the thing
like-
to do is to actually time travel and actually make a movie about them banning time travel right before they publicly announce it, mocking banning time travel. And then they would say, like, how did this happen? It had to have been time travel.
Like, if you had the ability to time travel, why would you go to 21st century China?
To
Be a troll.
To be a troll, that was initiated or explained in the initial comment.
Just go to 22nd century China.
it would, I'm not saying that
rule
to
the
be a
world.
full-length film. Okay, guys. Well, so we're watching Maniac.
Maniac on Netflix.
Maniac.
It's all about
Do you guys want to try and
pharmaceutical
set a date for our next discussion session?
How many episodes? So this has
10
Did it on Black Friday?
Oh, wait, no, sorry. It's...
10 episodes,
Yeah, it is. 10 episodes.
30 to 40 minutes.
The last weekend of this month is the 24th.
So that's going to be the weekend after Thanksgiving. Are you guys going to be around?
I will. Oh, I may.
November.
I should be here. I'm not sure though. I need.
Thanksgiving's on the 22nd this year?
I usually go to Louisiana for Thanksgiving, so
Okay, so let's plan for the 25th, 26th. Leave it loose, and if we need to,
if it's like if it's the Monday after Thanksgiving, I definitely can be there.
okay.
Well, let's do that.
All
25th
right,
or 26th.
there we go. All right, good show, everybody.
Good show.
That show. All right. Salutations, everyone.
Salutations.